Now, opening day of bow season is an exciting time, and I really want to help you narrow down exactly when you should sit, where, and why. You know what's exciting is this is the most predictable time of the year for a mature buck. When you find a summer pattern, that pattern strengthens and you can go in for the kill. I know a lot of hunting careers have been made watching a certain area, a certain property. Big bucks are coming out, they have one tree stand. If those bucks are in that movement, they go in there and get them. But it's often not that easy. I want to talk about that pattern as something you can take advantage of, but I want to really talk about how to recognize that pattern. And right here, for example, we have a really nice buck. He's a 5-year-old 8-point. He's turned into a giant 8-point this year, Ocho. He's beautiful. He's heavy, tall, and we can't wait to see him in a hardhorn here pretty soon. But our opening day is only 5 weeks from when we're filming this right now. And Ocho is starting to show himself around here a little bit more and a little bit more as the weeks progress. I want to see that pattern not only continue, but strengthen. And he's going to be somewhere out here. So if he's not here in this spot, this happens to be, we're in a redneck right here, but we have a lot of tree stand locations. I don't care where he's at. I'm not married to any certain blind or tree stand. I don't have a favorite. I want to see where he's at. I want to see maybe that scrape become active behind us. Maybe some rubs pop up around here from early season when he sheds his velvet right in early September. But I want to see those patterns increase for right here. And then we have to leave it alone. And so I want to see that increasing pattern. And then once I see that pattern, I know he's in here, I know he's not somewhere else. You know, Jen and I spent some time sitting back in the corn over here and watching another part of the field, and he certainly wasn't there. We might do that a couple more times. And so whether you're sitting on lawn chairs, relying on your trail cameras, looking for sign, making sure that that amount of presence in a certain spot is only increasing is a very good thing. Now, we don't want to mess that up. And what I mean by that is, for example, Ocho was coming through here, I believe it was this morning or last night, but a lot of times he's coming through here in the morning. If we try to sneak in here in the morning, because it's on a food source, it's very tempting to come in and do that. And someone might even say, well, you have a redneck, you can sneak in here, get in here really early, and then just wait and see what happens. I don't like doing that, because you come in here and let's say he's 300 yards away. They don't go that far during the summer months. We come in here, make a little noise, we spook a deer, he's probably not coming in. He's gonna hear that, he's gonna hear that blowing, he'll just go to another spot. And once you do that, once you spook deer and it's something unnatural they haven't been used to for weeks, they're not coming back, at least for a few weeks. And so I'm looking at as a food source setup on opening day. And we'll talk about a morning potential sit, but the real money set is opening day and coming out here in the afternoon, evening, and waiting for that pattern to happen. So I don't want to come in here and blow this in the morning, especially in a food source stand. Now, when would I hunt this in the morning? Never. I don't want to come in by this food source. However, if I thought he was bedding that way, which he does sometimes, we have a water hole stand location that's about 200 yards from here, about 100 yards away from a bedding area. So let's say he's making this 300-yard movement every single morning and he's passing through there. That's not by a food source. It's not in an area where I have to walk through open fields to get there and potentially spook other deer. That's a spot where I might risk going in the morning, watching that water hole, seeing if he comes through. That's a great rut stand. You could take a chance for early season. You know, early season morning stands, you have a spot back on public land. It's a little precise area where a buck you think is going back to some island of cover somewhere, some point, some bench system. That might be one of those where you try to sneak in there and wait for him to come back, especially when you have the competition of other hunters in the area. But on private land, it's a little bit different. You have to manage that sit. So you have to look at, is it a better chance in the afternoon, evening, or a better chance in the morning, and pick one, not both. Meaning, if you're sitting over there in the morning, then if you don't get him, there's a high likelihood that he heard you coming in, he saw you, smelled you, something, and I want to go try to find a different spot to sit in the afternoon then, in case I spooked out this spot. You can always verify it and always chance it again later. So pick one of those spots. Hey everyone, we'll be right back. But pretty cool, the Earthway Model 2750 that I've been recommending for decades is back. What I mean, the OG version. They tried several different versions over the last 2 years, much to our disappointment. I finally got through to someone at Earthway, and I think a lot of other people did, and they brought the old one back. And so it's pretty cool. We believe in it so much, we're actually carrying it now. So we have them on our site, Pure Wildlife Blends, WHS. You can buy it at either one of those locations. So check it out. We rely on it. I know you can too. Now back to the video. This is something really exciting. We were running out of the old bags. So check them out and ask us any questions you want on how to use them. You'll be very happy with them. I really like that afternoon setup though. They've been on food, and as you see that pattern continue and strengthen as it gets closer to opening day, that's awesome. That's that money set. Again, that's where careers are made sometimes, where you have this giant coming out. You can get on that pattern, you know that pattern, same land, same stand, you go in there and shoot them. Now, when is my opening day? Our opening day is, again, it's 5 weeks from this weekend. I believe that's the 14th of September. So when we're coming in on opening day, I don't want to come out here when we have high winds in the evening. Every time you use a stand location, there's a chance of spooking a deer. We have great access. You know, I should preface this whole video with, you have to have great access coming in. We come in behind this redneck, behind a wall of switch. We have trees. We have a big box elder bush right here. We can come in at an angle through a small switchgrass bank over here, a mowed trail. It's quiet getting in here. We're not walking through bedding area in the afternoon. So we can get in and out of this stand really, really nice. But opening day, if it's super windy, if it's super hot, I would say, I'm just guessing, let's say the average temperature is 71 at that time. And it's 89, 87. And 3 days later, on the 17th, the 16th, the 18th, I see those daytime highs in the 50s, low 60s. And I see that major drop. That's going to be when my opening evening is. And we see that all summer long. It's amazing how when you get the cooler temps in the evening, how all of a sudden a whole bunch of bucks show up. And it's not that they weren't there. It's just that they move a little bit more and happen to walk in front of the camera. So you can really see their activity levels pick up. And it's not that they even went another mile. It's they're going a couple more hundred more yards, 100 more yards, and you actually pick them up on camera because they're not just going straight to food, sitting there all night and going straight back. So my opening day, I want to be a good weather day, and even if it's an average day, say it's at average 71 degrees, I have good winds for this stand, I'm gonna go take a chance. Even if 5 days later it looks like it's gonna be 50, well then I might come and take a chance. If it didn't seem like I blew anything out, if it still looks good, then I might come back here 5 days later and hit that. But I want to make sure that when I come in here for the first time, I have everything going for me, including that access and not spooking deer. His patterns have strengthened, and I'm picking the right time of the day, which is almost always in the early season, that afternoon sit. And that's really where dreams are made of. There's a lot of really nice bucks, obviously, that fall on opening day, but there's a lot of things that people do to mess up that sit. Come in here, wrong day, wrong access, wrong time of the day, and even some will come in here and say, well, I'm gonna sit all day. I'm gonna go hardcore. Opening day of bow season and in through the October lull is not the case for all day sits, unless maybe you're hiking in a mile and a half or an hour and a half on public land and you just want to sit out all day. But even that, I'm going to focus on that this is a morning stand near bedding, and I'm going to change and go to an afternoon stand that in September might focus on a white oak acorn flat, maybe some apple trees, hidden homestead back on public land that was 100 years old. They had some apple trees planted around it, some diversity, random spot of red osier dogwood on the edge of a swamp, somewhere where those deer are coming through. I'm going to focus on that food source for that afternoon sit. So even then you can flip back and forth, choose the right time of day though, the right day to go in, watch for those patterns to strengthen, and you can have a great opening day sit. We're really thinking long and hard about a great sit and kind of dreaming of Ocho in this spot. We have Junior over on Leo's plot, and as we go around the property, LO Beams is over by the Hermit. We have a water hole spot we could sit there. And so we're really looking at 3 or 4 key locations for sitting and seeing what bucks start to slot into those areas. Really watch for them, because even if you see it happen the night before, a few days before, and you've been waiting for that buck to come on your land all season long, it might be time to get in there. So really great time. And then after that, we're starting to focus on food and see where they slot into, really looking on previous year's patterns for older bucks and where they might be frequenting, especially as the season progresses more and more. But that opening day sit, follow those rules and those tips, and you can find success for this opening day. And you'll find that a lot of those patterns persist of how you should hunt in through the season up until the rut. It's a great way to follow those patterns and have a success, find some success, not only on opening day, but all the way up until the rut. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate you watching the videos. We have over 600 articles on whitetailhabitatsolutions.com. It's all free. And I also appreciate those of you that check out our books. I have 5 books starting from 2012. We have web classes on the site, whitetailhabitatsolutions.com. Check out Pure Wildlife Blends. I really appreciate you guys that have already purchased our seed. We've had thousands of people. We've shipped to 48 states. We have digital land management through whitetailstrategy.com. That's taking all these ideas and concepts I put in the YouTube videos and digitally transforming your land for you. And then finally, we have our clients and client visits. We'll visit over 300 clients as a group this year. We visit anywhere in the country. Boots on the ground is always the best, but we have a lot of ways to help you, from free to client visits and all in between. Check us out again, whitetailhabitatsolutions.com, Pure Wildlife Blends, and whitetailstrategy.com.